Joy is coming. Hey, joy is coming. Hello, my lady. Welcome back to the Intentional Lady, Intentional Living Tribe. If you're new here, you might want to have a look at the previous videos on this channel so that you can catch up with us on this journey. Yes, we're on the A to Z of intentional living journey. So for you to catch up with us on this journey, you have to start watching from the A of intentional living, and that's the awareness of intentional living. So you might want to have a look at the previous videos on this channel so that you can gain proper context and clarity into what I'll be talking about today. And if you're an OG, welcome back. Today's video, we're talking about joy is coming. Hey, joy is coming. Today is the J of intentional living. I mean, what other word would the J of intentional living be if not the joy of intentional living? Who is excited? Tell me you're excited. How's the journey been for you? I would really, really love for you to share your thoughts in the comment section. So let me know how the journey is going, and I hope you're doing your assignments. Yes, so if you're new here, you might want to stay till the end to get the assignments, because at the end of every video, there's always an assignment. So I hope you watched the previous videos to the end as well to get the assignments. So it's not just in the listening, it's in the doing. So you have to watch till the end to get the juice. So today we're talking about the joy of intentional living. Joy is coming. Joy is here. It's not coming. It's here already. So now that you have aligned with your identity, the next thing in line for you to do or to know is to constantly be in a state of perpetual joy. I mean, constantly. Like, there should be no reason for you not to be in a state of joy. That's just the truth. And this kind of joy is not based on the happenings around you or the happenings to you. So you know the way people attach happiness to happenings, like people are only happy because of the things that happen part time in their life. No, this is not the kind of joy I'm talking about. I'm talking about the joy that comes as a result of your awareness. So it is a state of mind kind of joy, not an happening kind of joy. Now, let me set the record straight. Because you have aligned with your identity and you are operating from it or from there, does not mean that you would not experience trials or temptations. Don't get it twisted. You would experience some trials and temptations. But our GOS says something about that. It says that you should count it all joy. He didn't say count some all joy. He said count it all joy. So whenever you experience the trials, whenever the temptations come your way, count it all joy. That is the instruction that was given. And what is the instruction? Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Because there will be diverse. That is why the word diverse is there, so that you will know that there will be diverse temptations, or there will be several temptations, and you know, different things you would come across. But count every of the temptation all joy. Count it. It didn't say count this one joy, count this one unhappiness, count this one depression, count this one sadness. No, he said count it all joy. I mean, even in the diverse temptations, it doesn't mean that you have to love it. All he's saying is count it all joy. There are some things that you don't like that is happening to you and you cannot change. So what do? Instead of zoning into the negative, why don't you zone into the positive? Why don't you count it all joy? Instead of feeling bad about it, why don't you feel good about it? You just have to learn to constantly flip your perspective. So instead of seeing the negative in the situation, why don't you flip your perspective to see the positive in it? So I think this particular flipping of perspective has helped me so far in my life. Whenever I'm being faced with trials or temptations or things that I do not like, or when things don't go as planned or they don't go well with me, I try I don't even try. I make sure that the moment I see or the moment I feel that this thing is trying to make me zone into the negative, I flip immediately. I mean, because trust me, the devil will make you see only the negative aspect of every trials or temptations you come across and make you feel like there is no positivity in it or there is nothing good about it. But trust me, there is always something good in every trial, in every temptation you come across. So even when things don't go as planned, try as much as possible. Don't even try. Make sure you flip your perspective as fast as you can. So when I feel like, why is this thing not working out? I'm putting in my best. I immediately flip my perspective and I begin to tell myself, what if God is trying to tell me something? Should I listen more? What if God is trying to teach me something? Should I pay more attention? What if God is trying to show me something? Should I look closely? What if God is trying to prepare me for something? Should I get ready? What if God is trying to stretch me? Should I allow myself to be stretched? So that is how you look at every situation you come across. Don't look at it like, this thing, God is stretching me. Do not approach everything that doesn't go well or as planned in that manner. No, always approach from what. Always approach from questions and not from, this thing is happening to me. No, because I tell myself at the end of the day, everything is working together for my good. Even if I had to pass through fire, I know it is working together for my good. So it makes me to constantly be in a state of joy. So I'm not counting it all joy, or I am not being in a state of joy because I like what is going on, because I like the trials, or I like the idea of the fact that I'm doing something and it's not going well. No, I am not doing that. I do not like the idea. Nobody likes it. But I count it all joy because I am aware of the presence of God that is with me. So when you make yourself aware of the presence of the Lord that is with you, rather than being aware of the difficulty at hand, you will definitely see that you will find yourself naturally living in a state of perpetual joy. Why would you naturally be in a state of perpetual joy? Because that is what the GOS says. In the presence of the Lord, there is fullness of joy. So if you always make yourself aware of the presence of the Lord, how would you not be full of joy? I didn't say that. You didn't say that. I didn't write it. You didn't write it either. So it's just the truth. And the truth cannot change because it is static. So when you make yourself, it's just simple logic. When you know that in this situation, God is in this situation with me, you would find joy in it. Like, even if it's the tiniest, you would still find joy in it. So I put it to you today. The reason why you are depressed, anxious, sad, confused, clueless, and every other thing that you can think of that is negative is because you are more aware of presence of all those things than you are aware of the presence of the Lord. And you have zoned into the presence of depression, sadness, anxiety, failure, whatever it is. You have zoned into that presence over the presence of the Lord. And that is why there is no balance. That is why you feel like even when you try to be joyful, you cannot just find the joy. Like, the joy is not just there. The presence of the Lord is not your consciousness, and that is why the joy is not there. So you would want to ask, how then do I constantly live in a state of perpetual joy? I got you. You will live in a state of perpetual joy by constantly flipping your focus on the anxious anticipation of the outcome you do not desire with the joyful expectation of the outcome you desire. Now, let me give you context. Instead of worrying about what would go wrong whenever you're being given a task or an assignment, or whenever an idea drops in your mind, or you just discover your purpose, instead of you worrying about everything that would go wrong, why don't you worry about everything that would go right? Why don't you feel good about everything that would go right? So if this thing works, what will go right? Like, if this thing works, what will happen? If this thing works, what will happen? Rather than zoning into, what if this thing does not work? What if this thing does not work? If you constantly find yourself thinking about, what if this thing does not work? What if this thing does not work? What if this thing does not work? That is what you would create. You will create a thing that does not work. But if you constantly find yourself thinking about, what if this thing goes well? Like, what if this thing just works? I mean, what will happen? Like, the joyful expectation of the outcome you desire over the anxious anticipation of the outcome you do not desire. Merely thinking about it, you can relate to the feeling already. Like, you thinking about something going wrong, you discover that it gives you this kind of fatigue immediately. But you thinking of something that would go right, it lights up your face. Like, it gives you this, smile. You won't even know how. You just find yourself smiling, like, that's it. Like, it's just like, this thing is just like magic. So let me paint a scenario for you. Have you ever experienced a situation where you are excited about something you're doing currently? Like, there's so much excitement about that thing, and all of a sudden a thought just drops into your mind about the thing going wrong. Like, something just comes to your mind and tells you, what if this thing does not work? What if this thing? And it begins to project and make you see obvious reasons why this thing you're doing will not work. And you are looking at it like, that's true. What if it does not work? You will discover that all of a sudden, the joy you felt initially about that thing will disappear. You will not even remember. And you would find yourself zoning into the feeling of, what if this thing does not work? And you become depressed, like, you become sad about that thing. The energy you were, exuding initially for that thing will drop, because the excitement is not there anymore. Now you're zoned into a thought of, what if it does not work? And some people get zoned into the point where they get drowned in that thought, and the energy required to make that thing work will go down. And at the end of the day, the thing doesn't work, and you say to yourself, I knew it wasn't going to work. But did you think the thing was not going to work when you started? No. Why did you zone into the thought of it not working? That thought made you lose your joy over the thing. And by you losing your joy over that thing, has killed your energy, has killed your morale, has killed everything needed to make that thing work. So that is why you have to constantly flip your perspective. Whenever a thought comes to your mind about something that's not going to work, flip it with, okay, it's going to work. Okay, what if it works? What if it works? Yes, it's going to work. Yes, and you see yourself exuding the right energy to make it work. And that is why I said your state of mind should be joy. You should live in a state of perpetual joy. It's an intentional lady that wants to create a dream life by design and not by default. Because if you let that anxious expectation take over, you'll be zoned into default. And what will default lead you? Disruption. And at the end of the day, you say, oh, I tried, but it didn't work. No, you flipped your perspective. That is why it did not work. So always, constantly be aware. That is why you need to watch. If you've not seen the previous video, you need to see those videos because everything is in sync. You have to work in alignment. You have to work in sync. You can't leave this part and do this part. It has to be in sync. So when you are in sync, when you experience certain things, you know that, oh, this is what I need to do at this point. This is what I need to do at this point. This is what I need to do at this point. So it gives you, it's a guide on the journey of you creating your dream life. It makes you aware, like it gives you reasons why you should take the next step. Instead of you stopping halfway because of unawareness, you move on because you are operating from a place of awareness now as an intentional lady. And you do it with serious intentions, like you do it with the right intentions because you know that it's going to work for you. So it's just simple. For you to create your dream life by design and not by default, you have to constantly be in a state of perpetual joyfulness. Like your joy should be full and overpouring. Like it should be full and, you see, have you ever seen some people that are so full of joy? Like it's so contagious. Like when you look at them, be like, wow, this person is so joyful. Like she's so, she's just excited. And some people will be wondering like, what's making this one excited? This is what is making the person excited. The presence of the Lord. So when you see people overly excited, when you see people joyous, and you are wondering, how come this person is always joyful? Like, is it that this person does not have something she's thinking about? Is it that she does not even have things that are bothering her? Is it that she does not even worry? Is it that her life is that good? No, it might not be. It's just the fact that she is operating from a place of awareness. She knows that her GOS says, count it all joy. He didn't say, leave this one out and be sad about this one. He said, count it all joy. And in the presence of the Lord, there is fullness of joy. So the person has brought the presence of the Lord into their body, their mind, their soul, and everything in between. That is why they are full of joy. And you are only aware of the negative and the presence of the negative, you see that there's no joy. So everything you do seems forced. You just do things and you look at people that are joyful and think like, why is she joyful? What's making her excited? I hope you can relate with what is making her excited now. So when next you see people that are joyful, you can, relate to it and say, oh, this person is joyful because of this reason. This person is not necessarily because of what they have, not necessarily because of the things that are happening in their life. They are joyful because of the awareness of the presence of the Lord that is with them. So now let's look at why you should constantly live in a state of perpetual joy. Now we are going to our GOS to get all the reasons why you should live in a state of perpetual joy. The first reason why you should live in a state of perpetual joy is because the joy of the Lord is your strength. You didn't say that either. That is what our GOS says. The joy of the Lord is your strength. So for you to have strength for each passing day, because your power and your might, they can fail you. Your personal strength, it can fail you. For you to have strength to navigate, all the orders, all the trials, all the temptations and everything, you have to be in a state of perpetual joy, because that is what will give you strength. If you are sad, you are depressed. What's depressed is it weighs you, like all those things. You discover that you are being weighed down, like it weighs you down the more. There's no energy to do anything. Like you are just I don't even that is the way you move. But when you're full of joy, there's so much energy. You are pumped. You're strengthened. Like there's so much power to do things. You are not tired. You are always excited. Like, oh, what's the next thing to do? Oh, would you have me do this for you? Oh, would you have me do that for you? Because there is so much joy exuding from you. So there's so much energy attached to it. You are strengthened. You don't worry about anything. You don't bother about anything. Another reason for you to live in a state of perpetual joy is because A joyful heart is good medicine. I didn't say that. You didn't say that either. A joyful heart is good medicine. And what does medicine mean? It means like something that would, make your body whole, that will make you well. So that is what a joyful heart is. A joyful heart is good medicine. When your heart is joyful, it's like medicine to your body, your soul, your mind, everything. Like you are full of life, you are energetic. Because when you're sick, of course, what do they give you? Medicine. So when you have a joyful heart, that is good medicine already. Like it is. So when you have a joyful heart, you see that you don't have any reason to fall sick because you have good medicine. So another reason why you should live in a state of perpetual joy, and this one is me adding to it now, is that joyfulness is contagious or contagious, whichever one it is. There's this thing with when you are in a place that is lively, when you are in a place that is full of joy, like you just feel the energy, like there's transmission of energy going on, like the joy is just contagious. Like everybody just seems to be all hyped, energized, like full of life. But as opposed to when you're in a place that is just, boring and, everybody's just looking dull, there's no how, even when you are the only one that has, even when you try to bring so much joy, and because of the nature of the place, you will struggle so much. But if you go into a place that is full of joy, like is radiating joy, when you go there, you are adding, like the transmission will be seamless. Like it's just going to sync. Like you would, connect with speed. Like there will be no like break in transmission. And that is why you find people that are zoned into depression, zoned into sadness, because a lot of hearts are not joyful. A lot of people are aware of the presence of all this negativity around them over the presence of the Lord. So they don't have a reason to stay joyful. They don't have a reason to be joyful. And that is why almost like everybody around you, you find them moody. You wonder, like, is life that hard? Is it that deep? I mean, and people make it like, life is hard. If you are laughing, then maybe God has blessed you so much, or maybe, no. You don't have to have it all figured out or all put together before you have a joyful heart. You should, as an intentional lady, beginning from now, make your state of mind joyfulness or joy. Now, our GOS caps it all with one very powerful scripture, and it says, rejoice in the Lord. I will say it again, rejoice. The prefix re means to do again, to repeat. So that scripture says repeatedly, continuously, do over and over again, rejoice. Like always, let it be your conscious state. Rejoice in the Lord. He says it again, rejoice. Why is that so? Because what you do repeatedly becomes an habit. What you do over and over again becomes an habit. So if you rejoice, again rejoice, becomes an habit. So you would not have any reason not to rejoice, because you have made it an habit, because it's what you do over and over and over and over again. So please, rejoice. Again, I say to you, rejoice. In all the diverse temptations, rejoice. Be full of joy. I'm not saying you should love it. I'm just saying attach joy to it. Even when joy is detached from the situation, you carry your joy, attach it to it. Yes, attach it to it. Very, very important. So let me conclude with this. Joy is not something you chase. It is something you choose. Don't wake up every morning chasing joy. You wake up every morning choosing joy. So whenever you wake up in the morning, I want you to what? Choose joy. And this is your assignment. If you can print it on a plain sheet of paper, that would be great. And you're not printing so much. Choose joy. Put it somewhere you can see every morning you wake up. And if you cannot print it, it's fine. Just write it boldly on a plain sheet of paper. Choose joy and paste it where you can see whenever you wake up in the morning. Like whenever you wake up, the only thing you see, the first thing you see is choose joy. And you would not have a choice than just to choose joy. Even when the morning did not start right, if you see choose joy, it will reset you back to choosing joy. And in case you don't know who I am Anu Balogun. I was sent to you, yes, you, to help you stop living and start intentional living, to create the life of your dreams by design and not by default. So kindly like, subscribe, share to someone you want to see succeed. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And don't forget to stay intentional with your actions until I see you in the next video.